Admiral Zefek stood on the bridge of the flagship Dominion's Wrath, watching the blue-green planet rotate slowly beneath them. Earth. Such an insignificant world, yet it had dared to refuse the galactic hegemony's ultimatum. The Admiral's 6 eyes gleamed with anticipation as he prepared to demonstrate what happened to species who defied the Empire's will. "Sir," reported Communications Officer Vex, "the humans are transmitting again." "Let them grovel," Zefek sneered, his mandibles clicking in amusement. "It won't save them now." But something in Vex's expression made him pause. The officer's usual confidence had been replaced by something resembling confusion. "Sir, they're not groveling. It's just one human, a female named Dr. Sarah Chen. She says she has an answer to your declaration of war." Zefek's laugh rumbled through the bridge. In 300 years of conquest, no single being had ever claimed to have an answer to the Empire's might. The hegemony commanded 17,000 star systems, possessed weapons that could crack planets, and had never lost a war. "Put her through," he commanded. "Let's hear what this primitive has to say before we turn her world to ash." The main screen flickered, revealing a small human female in a simple white coat. She stood in what appeared to be a laboratory, surrounded by primitive computing devices. Her dark eyes held no fear, only a strange, quiet determination that made Zefek's secondary heart skip a beat. "Admiral Zefek," Dr. Chen said calmly, "I understand you've come to destroy our world because we refuse to surrender our sovereignty to your empire. Correct, human. Your species has 30 minutes to reconsider before we begin bombardment. Use them wisely." Dr. Chen nodded thoughtfully. "I have a different proposal. A demonstration, if you will. You see, we humans have something your empire lacks despite all its power." "And what might that be?" Zefek asked, genuinely curious despite himself. "Imagination," she replied simply. "Combined with desperation, it creates remarkable solutions. Tell me, Admiral, how many worlds has your empire conquered?" 17,432. Zefek replied proudly. "And how do you maintain control over such a vast territory?" Zefek frowned. Where was this leading? Through the hegemony network, obviously. Our quantum communication grid connects every world instantaneously, allowing us to coordinate fleet movements and suppress rebellions before they spread. Dr. Chen smiled a strangely unsettling expression. "Yes, I thought so. A single, centralized network connecting your entire civilization. Efficient, logical, and absolutely catastrophic in the right circumstances." Before Zefek could respond, she continued. 3 days ago, when you first arrived in our system, we detected the quantum signatures of your network. It took us 72 hours to crack the encryption and understand its architecture. Remarkably sophisticated, I must admit. Zefek's primary heart began racing. Impossible. The hegemony network uses quantum entanglement principles your species couldn't possibly comprehend. "You're right," Dr. Chen agreed. "We couldn't comprehend it using conventional methods. So we tried something unconventional. We used what we call the infinite monkey theorem, the idea that given infinite time, a monkey randomly hitting keys on a keyboard will eventually reproduce any text." She gestured to the machines around her. "We don't have infinite time, but we do have something almost as good: human creativity combined with quantum computing and artificial intelligence. We created a hybrid system that doesn't just calculate, it dreams, imagines, and thinks in ways your logical minds never could." "What are you saying?" Zefek demanded, though dread was already creeping into his voice. "I'm saying we found something wonderful in your network, Admiral. A single point of failure. You see, for all its complexity, your entire communication system relies on one central quantum relay station in the hegemony core. If that station were to receive a specific quantum resonance pattern, something we've taken the liberty of designing it, would create a cascade failure throughout the entire network. Zefek lunged toward his weapons console, but Dr. Chen raised her hand. I wouldn't recommend that, Admiral. You see, we've already transmitted the pattern. It's propagating through your network as we speak, disguised as routine maintenance data. Your own protocols are helping it spread faster. You're bluffing, Zefek snarled, but his hands trembled as he reached for the emergency communication array. Static. Nothing but static across all channels. The pattern doesn't just destroy the communication network, Dr. Chen continued conversationally. It also affects any system integrated with it. Navigation, weapons control, life support on ships too far from a star to use backup power. I estimate you have approximately 6 hours before your entire fleet becomes a collection of drifting hulks. On his bridge, Zefek watched in horror as system after system began displaying error messages. Emergency lighting flickered on as main power fluctuated. But here's the truly beautiful part, Dr. Chen said, her voice now carrying a hard edge. The pattern is self-replicating and adaptive. Every time your technicians try to purge it, it learns and becomes stronger. Within days, it will spread to every world in your empire, shutting down everything from planetary defense systems to food distribution networks. Zefek stared at the screen, finally understanding the magnitude of what this single human had done. You've destroyed civilization itself. No, Dr. Chen replied quietly. I've destroyed tyranny. The pattern specifically targets command and control systems while leaving civilian infrastructure intact. Your empire dies, but your people live. They'll be free to choose their own paths, form their own governments, make their own mistakes. You want war, Admiral? She asked, echoing his earlier ultimatum. One human's answer just brought your 17,000-world empire to its knees. Not through superior firepower or vast fleets, but through something you never anticipated, imagination guided by the desperate love of a species fighting for its freedom. As the Dominion's wrath went dark around him, Admiral Zefek realized he had just witnessed the end of an age. The last thing he saw, before emergency life support kicked in, was Dr. Chen's calm smile, and her final words, "Perhaps next time, you'll consider asking nicely instead." Throughout the galaxy, the hegemony network flickered and died, and with it, the greatest empire in known history crumbled, brought down not by armies or weapons, but by one human's refusal to accept the impossible.